Welcome, everybody, to episode 10 of Talks for the People. Happy New Year. 2020 is behind us, and we are ready to get going. Cody, Steven, how y'all guys doing today?
10.
I say love, peace, and chicken grease.
All right, guys. We did have a guest lined up for this week, but due to some technical issues, he's not here. You can see that. We are going to work on our technical issues, and we are going to have my friend on soon. Just wanted to touch on that because I can't remember if we mentioned it last episode, but we are going to go ahead and jump right into this episode. Steven, what's burning your biscuits?
Well, so I encountered this past week, and something that really burns my biscuits, for the most part, is just inconsiderate people. I think that's all burns my biscuits, but the two specific points for inconsiderate people this week are people with shopping buggies that want to just roll it down the cart and at the last second turn that beast sideways and then turn and look at the shelf. It's like, dude, pull off to the side. This is just like a highway. You don't stop your car in the middle of the street, my man, okay? You don't do it.
So right there in a first-person shooter game.
And some of these douchebags, I feel, bring a tape measure with them and then measure from rack to rack just to make sure they're dead center. Like, it would not surprise me not one bit. It drives me up the wall. So that one drives me up the wall. And the other burns my biscuits is inconsiderate people in the bathroom. So I'm sure cleanliness next to godliness for the women's world is fairly good in the women's bathroom. I could be completely wrong. There might be some really dumpster fire bathrooms for women. But for the men's bathroom, men typically seem to be extremely inconsiderate. So when it comes down to it, you walk into a men's bathroom, you could have 30 stalls, and every single one of them have TT on the toilet seat. Like, bruh, if you were shaking your hose like a fire hose, you're doing it wrong. And if you're shaking more than twice, you're playing with it. So there's no reason for all that. And I would rather sit on a foot mark than I would piss. So if you think at any point in time you aim like Ray Charles, then you need to go ahead and take your foot, kick up the seat, and pee in the bowl and on the rim of the bowl, but not on the seat. Like that.
Well, look, we're as men, as guys, we're taught how to pee from a very young age, and unless you're having to use tweezers to hold your little dingling out, I don't see how the hell you're missing the seat. I mean,
exactly. So that's the thing for me is hypothetically speaking, even if, say the toilet seat is stuck, it is designed for pooping only. You can't sit down, you can't lift the seat up or anything, right? Just a little bit, a tiny bit of common courtesy takes this to let me grab a couple squares of toilet paper and wipe the seat down for the next gent that comes in. That's all I ask. Don't be slinging your wiener everywhere and then leave the piss all over the seat and the walls and the floor. We are not savages.
And the other side of that is, what about the skid mark on the back of the seat?
You know what?
I love it when you run into one of those.
Anytime I see that, I imagine that the individual's butthole that's on it is like this big around. How do you get it on the back? Like, how far back are you sitting on that seat to make sure it goes in? Like, if your hole's that big and then the load is scraping the back end of it on the way in, you should probably stop the butt stuff.
Well, look, can we also bring up this fact? How come every time you go into a public restroom, everything is freaking wet? Like, why is everything wet?
Especially the floor around the toilet.
Well, that's all piss.
Pull your pants down. You got to hover your pants.
Well, everything around the toilet is piss because, as we've discussed, people don't know how to aim their dick. So
a little bit of courtesy is all it takes.
I mean, men's restrooms are disgusting places. I mean, It's horrible.
It is. We are a sick group of creatures.
Well, you know what's worse than that, and this isn't really, I guess, people being uncourteous, but the design of the bathroom is a little bit too like the Walmart where I live. They used to have this one sink that if you went to it and it had the automatic, water turn on.
Right.
When it went over and put your hand in there, it wouldn't shoot straight down. It shot straight out. So then you got this well, do I tell everybody what happened, or I just let them think he pissed himself? Because that's exactly what it looks like. And you can tell the people that haven't had that happen to them yet, because they'll go straight over there and use that one.
I think somebody put a piece of tape under there and was playing a joke on you.
No, because that thing did that for about 15 years until they just remodeled it.
Well, I need to start using that tape with my building. That's all I'm saying.
Oh goodness, that's good stuff.
Those are my only two. I mean, they were pretty wild, but that's what burned me up this week.
All right, well, mine this week.
I always get back to Walmart. I'm a Walmart shopper, I guess.
There you go. All right, well, mine this week isn't super funny. It's just something I wanted to get off my chest that aggravates me. I thought it had gotten better in recent years, and then I've become more active on Reddit lately, and just keeping up with some of my personal interests. And what aggravates me is gatekeeping in music. If you're not familiar with the term gatekeeping, it's when the people who take a certain genre of music so seriously that they feel the need to tell you what to listen to, what not to listen to, what's okay to listen to, and what's not okay to listen to. Now look, I see you pointing at me, but here's my point. Here's my point. I think that Guns N' Roses is a flaming pile of dog shit and dumpster fire, and nobody needs to listen to it. But if listening to trash-ass music makes you happy, then do it. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I think there's definitely better alternatives, but I'm not going to tell you not to do it. And people get upset when a new band comes into a genre and they're trying something new, and it upsets the people. Well, that's not hardcore. They've got this and this and this. Who are you to say what hardcore is? I mean, hardcore, if these bands could be playing Banjos and the Spoons and call it hardcore. If they think it's hardcore, it's hardcore. Okay? I mean, whatever the band wants to label themselves as, that's what it is.
And hardcore has been cleanly identified by Jack Black. You're not hardcore unless you live hardcore.
I just want to go on the record here and say, I don't know about you, Stephen, but every band that seems that most bands that I like, I get the gatekeeper treatment from Alan.
We may be
that band is trash. They're horrible. You can't listen to them.
All right.
I think Alan is a gatekeeper.
I don't. Right. Hold on, guys. We may be working. Hold on, just a second. Let's try something out. Bob, you with us? There you go.
Yay.
All right, hold on. Let me change some stuff around. There we go.
All right, my phone's more reliable than my computer, evidently.
All right, everybody. I will go through the intro that I had planned. Everybody, welcome to the podcast. A longtime friend of mine. We go back probably, what would you say, Bob? 16 years?
Yeah. Around there.
About 16 years. Back to my band days. Bob was a main member of the crew that I ran with. We had lots of fun back in the day.
I was the only member of the crew.
The crew I was referring to crew as our group of friends.
Okay. I was about to say no, we didn't have a crew. We had a Bob.
Yeah, no, you were the lone roadie.
So Bob, was you a roadie or a groupie?
Sometimes both.
Oh,
And before we get any deeper, I do want to let y'all know that Bob is 1/3 of another podcast that he does, the Fat Old Nerds podcast. Want to give a shout out to them, and just so I want to talk to Micah and Justin for a second. Bob, you make sure they hear this, because I listened to y'all's recent episode, and I want to have your back for a second and let Micah and Justin know that you did not offer any sexual favors to be a part of this.
Okay, I'll make sure they know that.
All right. Well, my burns was going poorly because these two don't believe me. So let's go ahead and let's learn a little bit about Bob. Bob, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your podcast.
I started it with these two guys that I've known about 20 years. We started off working at a grocery store together, and then we ended up going to college for radio. Well, me and another guy did. The third one, he's just lazy and he just lays there and talks. So me and Micah have like experience behind a microphone, which is nice. And we've tried to do a lot of stuff over the years, but when we decided, hey, let's do a podcast, this is the only thing that stuck. Out of all the shit we've tried throughout the years, this is the only thing that made it.
And let some of our listeners know what kind of topics y'all cover over on y'all's podcast.
Well, we love doing movie reviews. Like the main thing we like is we got movies in a hat, and we'll just take one out and we'll all watch it and then we review it. Most of the time it's just a horrible mess because we come up with some weird movies.
Right. Now I heard I was listening to one of your most recent podcasts, and Meet the Feebles seemed to not go over that well with y'all.
Oh my! I guess Peter Jackson was just up for money for anything back in the day. Because no movie can you see, puppet titties and all that on a hippo. Puppet titties on a hippo. Let me reiterate that.
so have you reviewed Human Centipede?
No, we're not going to do that because it's way back there. Everything that can be said about Human Centipede has been said.
I believe it.
Ass to mouth, that's all we got,
Yeah.
Our buddy Cody here hasn't seen Human Centipede yet, and we're trying to convince him to watch it.
I haven't either, so I'll be partaking soon. I've been told it's a Christmas movie, so I'm gonna wait till Christmas to watch it next year.
Fucking Christmas movie.
Bob, I need you to sell me on that movie.
Fix up some hot chocolate and sit down and watch Human Centipede.
With the family, of course.
Grandma, come on in here.
She always said she wanted us to be closer.
Oh, but not in that way. Oh, I don't want to wake up with Grandma sewn to my butt. Just, thank you.
Well, the fact that you brought up movies actually plays in really well to one of our main topics we wanted to discuss this week, and we wanted to get in on some actors that have just seemingly have never released a bad movie.
Okay.
We're talking along the lines of like Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio. Those two alone right there, you'd be hard pressed to find a bad movie they've done. One they even did together, movies like Catch Me If You Can. Excellent movie.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very, very good movie. Have you seen The Terminal?
The Terminal is another excellent movie.
Yep.
It's to live in the friggin' airport.
It seems almost feasible too. What happened in that movie almost seems feasible. Could you imagine that happening to you?
I just go apply for my citizenship then and fucking ain't. I'm here, might as well.
Well, I'll say this on that topic, that to me, it's not so much that they never made a bad movie, but they never cease to not entertain you, right? So for me, like I have Will Smith and
Johnny Depp.
Of course, Johnny Depp on my list. So I believe both of them have made some pretty cringy movies. Like Will Smith did The Wild Wild West. I really enjoyed it, but it's kind of cringy. You know, when you watch it, you're like, what? But it was enjoyable to me. So those two on my list. I mean, those two guys right there. Almost every movie they've ever made, it really just I could sit down and watch it and enjoy it every time. So
I kind of went more longevity on mine. I went with Clint Eastwood. I mean, hell, he's been putting out movies since the mid '50s,
Yeah.
and he directs too. So I mean, I
yeah,
haven't seen a Clint Eastwood film yet that I don't like.
And he's not one to shy away from subjects that he'll do movies where you feel uncomfortable watching it.
yeah. He did phenomenal with Gran Torino. Loved that movie.
Gran Torino's one of them. Like the character he plays in that movie, and was he in Crash? Did he play the old man in Crash? Can't remember if he was in Crash or
No, I
not.
don't
Crash
think
was
so.
another movie that excellent movie, but you just feel very. It's a very racially driven movie, and a very real look at inner city racism and all that. And just watching that movie makes you incredibly uncomfortable.
So he's 90. I think he's 90 or in his 90s,
Wow.
and he's already he's filming another film right now. Or I think they just got done filming. It's
That's
supposed to come
That's
out in a few
insane.
months, and he's kind of perfected this this thing where they literally film the movie in like 30 or 40 days, and they're done.
that's impressive.
Like the last several films he's done that way. Saves a lot of money too.
And I mean, at least part of you has to wonder: is it because they don't want to risk losing him? I mean, I know that's dark, but I mean, he's getting up there in age. I mean, is
Well, he's producing them too, so I mean that's his call.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's thinking about that.
Or maybe he's just tired. He's like, man, I'm too old for this shit. I ain't gonna stand out here and film a movie for 6 months. 30 days, we knocking it out. We're done.
Yeah.
He started doing those historical flicks too, like Sully and Richard Jewell.
I haven't
Stuff
seen
like
either
that.
of those.
Oh, you need to see that, especially Sully. Sully is fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's got Tom Hanks in it.
Oh, is that the
Played
the pilot one?
Sully. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
I will admit that I've slacked on my movie watching lately. I have not seen a lot of new movies. I always end up going back to the ones I've seen a million times whenever I've got time to watch a movie instead of watching new stuff. So that tends to be my problem.
Watch a brand new flick or watch Endgame for the 500th time? Yeah, let's watch Endgame.
I feel good about that decision. So who's your go-to actor, Bob?
All right. He's more in TV, but he's also done movies. But anything he's ever done has just always entertained the shit out of me, and that is Mr. John Cleese.
Okay. Yes, I agree.
He does not put on a bad show. I don't know if any of you have seen Faulty Towers, but if you haven't, that is one of the best British shows to ever exist.
All right.
And another. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I'll have to check that out. I agree.
And the other is he's the director as well, but he's a star in 95% of his movies, and that is Mr. Mel Brooks. I have grown up on Mel Brooks movies, like at a period of time where I shouldn't have been watching some of them. Like Spaceballs taught me all my cuss words.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, but that's such an excellent movie, though.
Blazing Saddles made me uncomfortable first time I watched it because all the racialness in it. I'm just like, what? But then I find out the movie was partially written by Richard Pryor, so that doesn't surprise me.
Right. I mean, Richard Pryor, one of the great. I'm a huge stand-up fan. Richard Pryor was great, especially in his prime at the time that movie was put out and everything. Richard Pryor was an amazing comedian. He was a master of his craft. So
He
So the name
was.
Mel made me think of nobody named Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen too many of his films I didn't like either.
All the way back from Lethal Weapon, and then going up to We Were Soldiers. Yeah, he's got some phenomenal movies that he's also produced, just like Clint Eastwood. But
And I mean,
the
I think if you put together, I mean, let's just be generous. If we put together a top 50 list, there's not a single person that wouldn't put Braveheart on that list.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
If you're doing at least 50 movies, it's going to be
Or The
on there.
Patriot.
The Patriot was good.
Yes.
But
Did I
yeah,
miss Burns My Biscuits?
you came in right at the end of mine where I was getting called out for being a hypocrite. But
Oh, okay.
You saved him.
yeah. You saved me. Since I was having trouble explaining my point properly, let's go ahead and let's give you yours, because you gave me a little bit of a heads up on yours, and I think it's a pretty good one.
Okay. About 10 years ago, I was in the Army. You know, how long? And I busted my ass. I busted my ass every damn day trying to do my best. And I dealt with what they gave me. Well, now they're just basically basic training is an effing daycare. They're all right. The first day, when you get to basic, you go to processing. It's like a week, you get your paperwork done, you get your shots and all that shit. Then they send you to your real unit. And that first day is supposed to be the most scary, intense day of your life. Because as soon as them bus doors open, they're screaming at you, get the F off my bus, get the F off my bus, get over there, get over there. And you're having to tote this 50-pound duffel bag over your head. And you're just trying to stand there and not drop it. And if you do, you get a shark attack. And that is when 5 or 6 drill sergeants just come at you. And they're all in your face, screaming. A couple of them aren't even screaming about what you're doing. And at one point, one of them is going to go, ah, 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 at you. Now, the head command sergeant major of the Army, which is the top NCO in the Army, says that's too intense and that's a little bit too much. We shouldn't do that anymore. So what they have them do is called the first 100 yards, where they have to run around and carry boxes. And that's it. That's it. And they're interviewing a private he's talking to the head command sergeant major of the Army with 2 drill sergeants standing there, and he's not even at parade rest or attention. He's just like, and I'm like, in my day, like once the command sergeant major was done with your ass, then the drill sergeants lit on into it.
Right.
Now it's just like, it's okay, and they're not making them take PT tests anymore. That was my biggest struggle, was PT tests. Not the sit-ups or push-ups, but the running part.
Right.
God, I sucked it and hated running. But now they're not making them take it because they want to get them out of basic faster, send them to AIT faster, which is where you learn your trade in the military. And then they'll get you to your unit. And if your unit's deployed, guess where your ass is going? And you've had less than a year's worth of training. Those are the people that get shot first in combat. But they've just taken so much and just that they coddle people now. When I was in on Sundays, you got to use your phone for 5 minutes. Now they give people an hour.
It's crazy. What?
So
In your opinion, is it just going along with the whole world, or why do you think they're taking it easier on everybody? Because I mean, they haven't broke out a what's it called when they just, you have to go, you have to sign up for the when you turn 18. Yeah, they haven't drafted anybody in God knows how long at this point. Somebody does. I'm just too stupid to know. But like, this is a voluntary thing. You volunteer to sign up. Most people. I'm sure there's some court-ordered stuff somewhere, but most people sign up and voluntarily go to the Army. They know what they're getting into. So, in your opinion, why do you think they've softened everything up? I mean,
To be honest with you, just because the people in charge are pussies. That's
Yeah.
that's the basic way to just to say it.
Well, and I'll tell you this, Bob. So I've never been in the military, but you know my dad was in the military, and I was kind of raised up knowing that hey, if you went to the military, you don't own your life anymore. The government,
Ooh.
right? And it just seems like over time, it's fading away from that, and they're giving people more ability to do things. But I think if we want a strong military, it should be, hey, you don't get an option, you don't get a choice. If we want to run you half to death and send you to the hospital to get IV'd, to get the fluids you need, we'll do it. You
Yep.
signed up for it. You're going to do what we ask you to do. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. We can fuss, cuss, and discuss all day, but your ass is running.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, it's what you're talking about is made fun of in movies. It's portrayed seriously in movies, and now, like Steven, I don't have any experience. I'll tell you straight up, I was too much of a pussy to even sign and go. Like, I know I couldn't deal with it. That's why I didn't go. But like, you would think most people signing up for it have done their research. They know what's going on. And from what I've talked to, the guys who do take it seriously, who didn't go because they were forced to based on disciplinary actions or anything, most guys know what they're getting into and they come out better for it. And now if you're just going in and getting coddled and you're coming out and you have nothing to show for it most of the time.
You're coming out a little baby dressed in green.
Pretty much.
I tell you what, though, we can be thankful that the military used to be as strong as it was, because if not, we wouldn't have Gunny, who absolutely killed it in Full Metal Jacket.
They don't invite you to come fuck their sister or anything like that.
Oh, dang it.
Don't ruin it, Bob. We all like to imagine that's what happens.
I remember the first day we were all in our little war room or whatever, the room we all gather in, and one of the drill sergeants was introducing himself. He says, "My name is Drill Sergeant Broyles. I like to throw shit. I catch any one of you little MFers sleeping, I'll throw something at you." And the first couple of days, you don't get a lot of rest. So there's one guy in the back asleep. He takes a full Gatorade bottle and just hits the dude in the head with it. Wakes him right up. He said, "I told you I throw shit."
You trying to get hydrated, motherfucker?
Damn. But yeah, just that whole deal. It's just like what happened in the army I was in.
Everything's changing these days, and it doesn't always appear to be for the better.
And it burns the fuck out of me biscuits, I'll tell you what.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to something else. Let's start some more happiness. Cody, we've kept you a little quiet this episode. Why don't you take us down a little nostalgia trip? Why don't you tell us about some things in the past?
All right. Well, I was going to Walmart. Go figure. The other night, and my
Seems
wife.
to be a recurring motif with you.
I spent a lot of time at Walmart. I hate Walmart, and I can't stand Walmart people. But I am a Walmart people.
Yes.
So anyway, we're headed over there, and my wife makes the comment that she's been wanting a Nintendo Switch for some time now, and she made the comment, she's like, "Man, I wish they still had the games out where you could play them like they did back in the day." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that."
Right?
So that made me go down, down memory road here. And do you guys remember that, going to Walmart or
Absolutely.
the mall or anywhere that had an electronics department, and they had the brand new game out? You had to wait in line to play it. There'd be some kid up there hogging it. He'd been there an hour.
Oh, and the best part about Walmart too is you always left with a sore neck because remember they put it at the top of the case, so you're sitting there like this trying to play the game while you're holding the controller, looking straight up in the air.
So I'm fortunate. There actually is a Switch at our Walmart here, and I think an Xbox that has some base games that do it, and it's of course waist level now, so you're not looking up. But dude, back in the day when they did those things, they had it connected to the glass case, so it was this far from it, and the TV was like right above you, so you're looking straight up at the worst angle ever. Gosh.
Yeah, that's I think the last time I was at the mall, they still do that. Of course, now hadn't been since all this crap's started, so it's probably been maybe last Christmas time when I was in a mall.
A few
But
GameStops still have the systems
I
out.
think they still had something like that. And actually, the GameStop here where I live, they still do it as well.
Right.
But yeah, that's just cool stuff. And then of course, then Alan, you brought up like Blockbuster
Yeah.
and Movie Gallery. You used to go up there and you just hope and pray that they hadn't sold out of the new movie or whatever he's going to get, and you'd hope there was a box behind the empty box
Yep.
that you could get your tape.
Man, when I was growing up, when I was 14, 15, 16, spending the night at a friend's house, like we were big wrestling fans, but we couldn't afford to watch the pay-per-views when they aired. Our parents weren't going to get pay-per-view back then. So what we would do is we would wait a month or two after they ended, and then we'd go to a Blockbuster and we'd rent like King of the Ring, or we'd rent that year's WrestleMania, and we'd take it home and watch it on VHS, man. I mean, that's how we lived our pay-per-views. We were a month behind. We already knew who won every match from watching Monday Night Raw, but we were going to watch the pay-per-view one way or the other. We wanted to see the matches.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking I was so cool, and I was like, man, I'm almost a grown up when I got my first Blockbuster card. That felt so cool. I had something to put in my wallet because I never had any money.
Yeah.
There was no debit cards then or nothing like that. So it's like I got a damn Blockbuster card though.
You remember when Blockbuster used to charge you like $1 for being lazy? And by that I mean not rewinding your own videotapes.
Yep. Oh, that's another thing. VHS.
Hey,
we're talking VHS and this stuff too.
Yeah.
VHS, or do you mean Betamax?
For me, luckily, it was VHS. It was always, I'm not that old. I wasn't on Betamax, but it was VHS. I had, dude, listen, you want to talk about nostalgia and VHS? Do any of y'all remember when the Ninja Turtles did a live concert video? It was the Ninja Turtles coming out of our shells live, and they were all up on there playing guitars, and Raphael was the bassist, and we're coming out of our shells. Whoa, whoa. Like, I mean, I watched this VHS so many times that I distinctly remember by the last time I tried to watch this thing, no amount of tracking you did on your VCR could fix this thing. Like, I had ruined the tape. I watched this so much as a child.
Oh my god!
How about the VHS tapes that were like orange colored?
Yeah, the Nickelodeon ones. They were all the Nickelodeon tapes were orange.
Good Burger.
So did y'all have like a local store when y'all were growing up that would sell videos as well? And they would have like different color boxes. So like the new, so we had this place called the Pharaoh Shop, and they would have like yellow, blue, and brown cases that the tapes would be in. And like, it seemed like the blue boxes were like the brand new movies, but if you got but like the brown boxes would be older movies, and you could get 5 for 5 nights for for $5 or something like that. I forget how much it was. And the yellow was the same way.
It's almost like a discount bin at Walmart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you had to bring them back, but yeah, that I remember that. And then also that was where we got our tickets because there was no internet then. So if
Ticketmaster.
if wrestling was coming to town or somewhere close or a concert, you went to the Pharaoh shop and you waited in line and you got they printed you out a ticket.
For me, it was
Now you got tickets.
For me, it was Blockbuster. Blockbuster had Ticketmaster, so that's where I would go. And if it was ever at the
also-
Civic Center, and I would drive 25 minutes on into Birmingham just to avoid paying the $4 handling fee. I would go buy them directly at the box office instead of buying them through Ticketmaster.
Yeah, we live a good 45 minutes either direction from a venue, so it was worth the $4 just to stay home. Also, do you remember getting the gaming magazines?
Yes.
And it would have the demo disc in it, and you could get in there and play the brand new games. You could only play like 5 minutes of it, but I remember I played Crash Bandicoot on a demo disc till I think it just absolutely shattered. You just would not play anymore.
Man,
Yeah.
for me, that game was. We discussed it a little bit last week, but Jet Moto. It was like Jet Moto was like a hover motorcycle racing game. I
It was
played that.
jet ski racing
Yeah,
game.
it was like a jet ski, but it hovered because you would go over land or water, and yeah, I played the hell out of that game.
Jet Moto was pretty epic. God, there were so many good classic games.
You could do
Yeah.
like they had the sports games on there too. You could play like 5 minutes of hockey or like 5 laps at Talladega. And
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think anybody is prepared mentally to realize that was the original Minecraft.
Which
Playing PS1 games or Atari games were literally just pixelated just characters everywhere. Like those original like hockey games and stuff were straight like little block guys with a little pixelated stick that just
Man, if you think about how far graphics have come in what is relatively a short time period, I mean, think about that. You moved from like Super Nintendo to Sega Genesis, and you're like, oh my God, look at the. Well, those are about the same, but you go from like Sega, Super Nintendo to PlayStation, you're like, oh my God, look at these graphics. These graphics are so good. Then 7 years later, the PlayStation 2 comes out, and you're like, wow, look at this. And then now you got games on PC and the Xbox Series X, and based on the developer, I mean, these things are photorealistic.
I mean, we live in a generation where that with technology the way it's moving. I mean, think about this. When we were kids, cell phones didn't exist. People would find that like, what? You didn't have cell phones? None at all? It's like, no. I remember talking to my girlfriend in like 4th grade on the phone hooked to the wall, and I was twirling that stupid little wire. It's like people are like, that's how you talk to people? It's like, yeah, I couldn't take it anywhere. It was stuck to the freaking wall.
Then one of your parents tries to call one of their friends, like, Mom, hang up the phone.
Get off the phone. Yeah, that was the worst.
They don't even listen for the dial tone. They just immediately start hitting numbers, and you're like, hey,
Right, yes.
or if somebody's on the internet, you pick it up here.
Oh God, yeah, somebody's on the internet.
Then you slam your hands down on the desk. Well, damn it, this is about to disconnect.
Who's on the phone? I got kicked out.
Look, you could have been having a very important conversation in your Prodigy chat or your AOL chat, man.
You know, you say that, but I remember, I had, I think my dad kicked me out of a phone conversation, I think, because I was on the phone because he was trying to hook up to the internet and everything was kind of getting funky. I remember having a conversation with a girl, I think in the 6th grade, about whale semen. I was spitting it. This girl was probably like, why the fuck is he talking to me about whale semen?
Wait a minute. You can't leave us there. How the hell did you get on whale semen?
Yeah, that was
You read a book in the library?
I couldn't even tell you. I from what I can remember, and I can't even remember the term anymore, but the technical term for a whale's penis. I don't remember what it is. There's a technical
dork.
a dork.
Yeah.
Yes, he called me a dork, and I said, "Are you calling me a whale's penis?" I said, "You know how much semen comes out of a whale's penis?" And that conversation went way left field, but it was her fault. She fucked it by calling me a dork. So
Was she doing one of these at school the next day? Like, don't talk to me.
I actually was already like that with every girl in school. So I only dated people who went to other schools because I couldn't pick anybody up at my own school. Yeah. I wasn't just a weenie hut junior. I was a super weenie hut junior.
Hey, I was the same way. I was not a popular kid at my school. I went to the Midfield school system. I was not popular. So what I would do is my go-to was to try and go to Skateland on Friday nights. Go to the skating rink.
Oh, the skate rink was the best.
But see, then I ended up being just the creepy kid who sat against the wall and just trying to like look at everybody and try to find the cute girls and then just stare at them all night and just look at them.
Were you that kid in all black who had the chain from one side of your pants to the back side of your pants?
Not quite yet at that point. I was that way when Bob knew me. That was only like 16 years ago. I mean, that's when I was. There's still pictures. I can find them for you. But...
Yes. Oh God.
It's good stuff.
A lot of nostalgia.
Some of my nostalgia is Toys R Us back in its prime. Like,
Oh man.
I loved going to Toys R Us, man.
but there was one other store that to me always was above Toys R Us, and that was KB Toys.
KB Toys was the best too.
They didn't get rid of old inventory. They just kept marking it down and just moving it to another area. So like, they didn't get rid of shit.
So if you were patient enough, you could get that toy that used to be new for a quarter of the price.
God.
When all your other friends had already quit playing with it. But it's new to you, damn it. I mean,
damn straight.
You know what's wild though? Is that at one point in time, those were like had the best and pretty inexpensive toys, but they went out of business because they were getting too expensive.
Yeah.
Wild.
Well, see, now, I mean, it's crazy to think that, I mean, think of how big, I mean, I know we've discussed it a little bit on the podcast, but like, think of how big Black Friday used to be. I mean, and how much real shopping went into it, even for birthdays. I mean, I was a supervisor at a Toys R Us for 6 months. And I mean, this was just 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where I was a supervisor for 6 months at a Toys R Us. Before I found another job, I had to get out of retail. Retail was killing me, but we were relatively busy. I mean, I was during the school year, but I mean, we were never really slow. And on Saturdays, we were still packed from opening to close. And you got to think, in the last 6 years, shopping has moved online almost 100%. They have now closed every Toys R Us. They're gone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even toys people are buying on Amazon. Like everything is online.
Okay. Did y'all ever run into a like the little play area in a Books A Million when y'all were younger?
Oh, with the trains?
They still got it.
Yeah.
I played.
I still play.
And they would have, like ours here didn't, but if we went to Huntsville or Birmingham, they would have like this TV set up, and they would like certain nights, I guess maybe Friday, Saturday night, I don't really remember, but they would play like a Disney movie or a kids movie, and so the parents would just drop the kids off in the middle of the store, and we just, me and I guess my brother was with me. we just sit there and watch the watch the movie while our parents went and looked at boring books.
Speaking of that, if we're gonna go really far back and get heavy nostalgia here, Books A Million in Auburn used to have Pokemon gym training at the Books A Million. They would do it every Sunday, and the reason I know is because I worked my way up to a gym master. I had my rainbow badge, my boulder badge, my water badge. I was that this finalizes, this caps off the Weenie Hut Junior that I was. Like, I was a Pokemon gym leader, and I showed up every Sunday at Books A Million to sit there and just play noobs that wanted to come up and be like, I want to challenge you to get my boulder badge. I'm like, haha, good luck, sucker. I was like I was like Team Rocket. It was bad. I was such a jerk to all the little kids who wanted to get their badges. I was like, not getting it.
Look, I want to see a picture of like 10 to 12-year-old Steven.
You don't.
So I had a few Pokemon cards, and I had a few of the what was the other one that came out? Was it Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
No, not Yu-Gi-Oh. What was the other one?
That's the only
Magic?
two.
Huh?
Magic?
Oh no, I'm getting there. I'm getting the Magic. But there was these were like blue cards. I had some of those.
Look, I was a dork, but I was never that big of a dork.
Oh, what are those called? Well, anyway, I was a huge Magic the Gathering person, though. I had several decks. I don't think I ever won a match, though, ever. But I had a hell of a time playing, though. It was so much fun.
Yes.
I even bought it one year for my birthday. My parents took me to Books A Million in Huntsville or somewhere, and they're like, "Look, just you can get whatever you want. One thing." And that is what I bought. I found this book of Magic the Gathering, like every card ever made. It's like an encyclopedia. Thing was huge, and that's what I got for my birthday.
Nice.
And now I look at it, I'm like, why did I get that? That's such a waste.
Oh, hey, apparently some of these people that have been collecting the Magic cards for years are like at this point saving them for their child's college fund, because some of that stuff is incredibly hard to come by at this point.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I gave all mine away.
Micah and I used to go to this card shop on every Friday to play Magic. And after about a month and a half, we quit because we got tired of being beaten by 8-year-olds with a disposable income. You can buy like a $90 card that'll kill you in one move, and it's just like, why am I even here? Why
Did you ever get aggressive with him? Like, I'm gonna come back next week, you little shit, and when I do, your ass is grass.
No, because if you threaten the kids, they get mad at you.
Oh, dang it!
Threatening children was frowned upon.
Losers.
Was that here in Birmingham, Bob?
It was in Chalkville.
Okay, that's crazy. Well, anyway, we can move on. We wanted to bring back something we did early on in the podcast. We had a guest tonight. We thought we'd ask a few more of these questions. I think I've got a few more good ones lined up. I think I found 4 that I did not ask last time. So we're going to see how far these 3 would go for $1 million.
Oh, my.
All right.
That's all right.
But that's all right.
First question. For $1 million, cash, no taxes, straight money. Every time you see someone that you find attractive, you vomit just a little.
I could deal with that. Just carry around a can of mints, I'll be all right.
I mean,
Well, I do that already. Let's go.
I feel it would be very hard to form a bond with someone like that, because it's not just like the first time I saw him I did it. It's every time you see them. So they're like, why are you throwing up every time you look at me, you asshole?
Well, see.
Yeah, but then you go, well, look at my freaking banking account.
Well, see, you also got to look at it this way. Like, Steven, Cody, myself, we're married. So you're walking down the street with your wife.
That's
This
a win-win.
girl walks past you, and you Oh, you think she's attractive, huh? You know, it could start fights. Your wife would know every single time you find somebody attractive, and then it could start more fights because you see like, uh, you see like,
Mother-in-law comes in and he pukes a little bit.
or, or I was, or I was thinking maybe Joe Manganiello walks down and you, am I? Huh?
So, two things about this. One, it would be horrible to have a one night stand. After a great night, you turn around and you throw up on him in the bed. And then, two, I strangely enough often, well, maybe not often, but occasionally watch a show with my wife,
Oh,
and it comes out of my mouth where there's a guy in the show where I'm just like, hey, babe, that man is a good-looking human being. Like the perfect chiseled jaw and everything. I'm like, holy crap, dude, what? So I'm gonna be in real trouble if I take this bet and start throwing up around men. My wife's gonna be like, yo, there might be too much going on here.
Oh God.
all right. So everything we've discussed, Cody, you taking the $1 million on this one? Yes or no?
I'm doing it. Yes.
Steven,
I'll do it. Yeah.
Bob.
I'm so far in debt, I'll do anything.
I feel you, brother.
I'll put over a little puke.
I think my wife could get over a little anger for $1 million in the bank. As long as I'm not doing anything with him, she knows I find him attractive. We're good. I'm taking the money. Okay, now here's one. It falls into do you mind people thinking you're crazy? Here's the scenario: $1 million cash. You get the greatest dog in the world. It does whatever you want, and it can talk. But no one else in the world can see or hear this dog. You cannot prove in any way that it exists, and if you ever ignore it intentionally, it loses its ability to talk.
There's a lot going on in that one.
Golly, that's deep.
But that means so like you could be at work doing your job, having to have a serious conversation with your boss, and this dog says, "Hey Cody, can we go play?" And if you don't turn around and answer it right then, this amazing, wonderful, best dog in the world loses its ability to talk.
I mean, I think I would take it just for the simple fact of like you could learn slick phrases. Like you're in the middle of a conversation with your boss, and buddy's like, hey, can we go play? And you're like, in a minute, bud. And your boss is like, what? You're like, oh, yes, sir. I'll get that done in a minute. You can kind of sling things around to make it seem like you're not a total nutbag. People can look at you and be like, the hell's going on with that guy?
Cody, you're a real big dog guy. How are you going to handle this?
So I already talk to myself constantly, so I don't think it's going to be hard for me. In fact,
Yeah, I'm already crazy. So
Yeah.
the other night I didn't even know that my wife was listening to me, but I was like folding clothes and I was talking about something to myself. And she come in, she's like, "Who are you talking to?" I was like, me."
All right, so we all taking it on that one. We can all deal with people thinking we're crazy.
I'm giving 2 thumbs up for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Stop telling me to do things.
All right, the next one you got to think about really hard because it's going to go deeper than you think.
Really hard, and it's gonna go deep.
Oh. Getting there nice, like.
$1 million cash. But for the next 5 years, any movie that comes out only stars people that you know.
I'll take that.
But like, I mean, think about this. This could be the next Endgame. But it's going to have like me and Cody and your wife, and like that's going to be who's in the movie. Whether we can act or not, we're the ones playing the parts.
So you're not talking about lead actors either. You're talking about the entire cast.
The
is
entire
only
cast is people you know.
Does that extend out to just people we've met
No, people you interact with.
on a daily basis?
I mean, I'm sure you don't see everybody you know every single day. So
Well, I mean,
question.
so what I'm getting at is if I meet,
friends and family.
okay,
Like
So-
for me, a truck driver that picked up a load yesterday is not going to be starring in the movie.
I have a kink in this. I have a question that would put a kink in this. If I'm watching Lord of the G Strings,
It's going to be like it could star me and Cody.
Saving Ryan's Privates.
yeah, or Star Wars. I mean, if I'm watching Lord of the G Strings starring Dildo Baggins, that's only people I know.
Right.
I don't. So you can't watch dirty flicks for at least 5 years, or you're gonna see a lot of people you don't care to see.
Exactly. You don't get to.
Can you imagine that you're watching the Titanic and that scene comes on and it's grandma and your dad? No, not even grandma and grandpa. It's grandma and your dad. It's like two random mixtures. It's like, oh God, what have I done? What have I done? Oh God.
You see the wrinkled hand hit the fogged up window and slide down.
Especially the mixed jambled section. It's like any movie that has a sexual scene in it, and it could be something random. It could be my grandma and Alan. It's like, oh God. Oh God. No.
What if you just don't watch movies?
Could you not watch movies for 5 years?
I don't know.
After a few of those, I wouldn't.
I think I would.
Question: is it movies that are new and coming out, or is it like old movies too?
Just movies coming out.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine. Fuck movies.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, as long as it's not everything, because like if I have to restrict from watching everything, it's like I'm gonna see some really awkward scenes.
Okay, but look, say after season 3, say in like 2023, they want to put out a Mandalorian movie, and you want to go see this on opening night, but it's gonna star like me and Cody as the main people.
Is Cody gonna be Grogu?
Steven, you need to come. You need to come to the theater and see my baby Yoda. Okay.
Oh yeah, I got you, champ.
Oh man, why do you have to do it? Why do you have to keep involve Star Wars?
Yeah. See, new Star Wars comes out. You gonna wait 5 years to go see it? 3 years?
As long as it turns back into the actual people and not friends or family, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, after 5 years, you see it as it was filmed.
All right, I think I would take the $1 million, and I would be extremely selective on what movies I saw.
I would take it. I don't watch enough new movies for this to impede me too much.
I think at some point it would be kind of entertaining as well. So, like if you watch one a year, maybe, and as long you try to make it like an action film where there's not going to be any love scenes, be selective on what you watch.
I mean, you don't get to fill in the characters, do you? Because I mean, I have some people that I know and interact with that I don't really like, and I would instantly insert them into like Fight Club.
No, you don't get to select. Like and see, and here's the weird thing about this scenario. Like, say me, you, and Cody all sat down in the theater to watch a movie at the same time. This is all going on in our heads. So, like, all of us are seeing basically a completely different movie because it's three
so this
different.
is like Shallow Hal with movies,
Right?
You're gonna be sitting there and you're gonna about halfway through the movie, you're gonna look over and Alan's moved. He's moved away. He's moved away from it. Like, I can't see my Cody anymore after what I saw.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one's fun. I'm pretty sure I know everybody's answer just because we're all deep down disgusting freaks. So this one's in here just for fun. $1 million cash. No questions asked, no taxes. But for the rest of your life, you lactate. And it's really good, tasty milk.
Oh, you had me at tasty. So, is this like a spontaneous, or like I have to go juice it every day, or how does it? I don't even know how it works.
No, it's like it's like you're completely full, so there's just constantly a little dribble. So
Oh,
you
you gotta
either,
wear the little pads.
so you gotta wear the pads, or you gotta squeeze it out.
Hang on, gotta
You're
go
in
milk
church?
myself. Be right back.
You're in church and somebody asks what that buzzing is. It's like, oh, I got the pump going.
So is it like normal life too? Like if you pump it, does it fill back up,
Yes.
or is it just instantly it's back to full? Like as soon as you pump
Oh,
it.
we'll go on the nice side. It's natural regeneration.
Okay, so I could just really just get it out and then have like an hour of relax time.
But we're talking, this is like delicious milk, like the most delicious milk you've ever had in your life. Like you pour a bowl of cereal and then you're like squeezing, like trying to.
More importantly, is this Oreo dunking milk? Or...
This will make Oreos taste better than you've ever had in your life.
I feel
Dribble
this is
a little bit here on this Oreo. And,
Yeah. The more we talk about it, I feel this is a win-win.
I mean, theoretically, if you're full and got the leakage going on, you could just be sitting on the couch and just rubbing the Oreo on your nipple and then eating it.
Yeah. I'll develop like Oreo nipple tassels that will just hold the Oreo under the milk until it's ready to pick up and eat.
oh Lord, what have I stepped in?
Look, I can tell you I'm taking the money. I'll deal with it.
For the rest
I'm
of
gonna pass. That's a fast pass for me. I don't want to lactate forever.
Yeah, I mean, what happens when you die and you're laying down at your funeral and your family's looking at your casket and you just have this milk oozing from your tits?
Well, I mean, it did say for the rest of your life.
Ah.
Yeah. It did say. Well, see,
That
here's
would be an
He done
interesting
lactated through his
conversation when you
funeral.
get
well,
to the
see,
hospital.
and Steven, you do have to consider this. You said I agree that it's natural regeneration and you can milk yourself, but you don't have woman-sized titties either. So like, it's not going to take as long to fill up. You're like, you're full.
I mean, you also have to imagine the inappropriate times you could be lactating too. I mean, like you're at a funeral and you just pick up you get both eyes and you get both tits while you're trying to.
That's what the nipple pads are for.
Hey, you'd be a hit at the at Starbucks or somewhere. Like, hey, they charge like $6 for a shot of milk. I got one
God,
free
yeah.
right here. Come here.
You could have a full-time job creating a new Starbucks recipe.
Oh, good God.
We'll call
I
it
would be hanging around a Starbucks and be like, you want some milk? Be like, sir, we've told you to leave several times.
like, no, but I had this brilliant idea. It's going to be called the lactation sensation. Y'all will love it.
I have my picture up at every Starbucks. Do not let this person in.
I think I'll take it. I'm in.
Yeah, I think I could find a way to work it out. I think I'm gonna take it.
I think I'm
Pass-
out.
pass
I'm
it.
out.
He's out.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Well, me and Steven are $4 million richer. Bob and Cody walking away with 3 each.
I can make 3 work.
All right. Well, the episode actually, we made it through everything.
I have one more thing.
You can go ahead. Absolutely.
So, and this was something neat to me, and it kind of goes along the nostalgia path. So when I was a kid, I had my neighborhood friends, and everybody had their group of neighborhood friends that they rode bikes with, they played games with, they did different things here and there with. My friend Ben Scarborough, this is a shout out. He also has a YouTube channel podcast, Scarflix, the Third Eye Collective, I believe, is his podcast name, something of that nature. But he is a great dude. He's been in video games for a very long time. Dude currently has an Atari, a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64, anything and everything you can think of. He's been getting them over the years. He loves them. Well,
Awesome.
growing up, Of course, with your friends also you had the feuds. Like, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do that. No, let's do this. Let's do that. So we had this excellent way of deciding of what we're gonna do next. And today on like Call of Duty, people refer to this as your 1v1, right? So anytime we were bickering and having an argument over, hey, what are we going to do next? What game we're going to play? What movie we're going to watch? We'd be like, hey, you know what? Super Smash Brothers right now, 1v1. We're doing the Star Fox level. Whoever gets the first 10 kills wins, and then you get to choose what we got to do. Or, of course, your classic 007 or something of that nature. That was our go-to. Any point in time, and WWE, like Shawn Michaels was my go-to, but anytime that we were like, I don't know what we're going to do next. Do we want to go swimming? Do we want to play baseball? Be like, hey, cage match. Whoever wins it, whoever makes the other guy tap out, gets to choose the next activity. So just something to interact with the fans, the people out there. What did y'all do growing up to decide between friends? Because everybody argued about, we want to do this, we want to do that. Did you have anything creative that y'all did that kind of put you over the hill of, look, let's have to sit here and argue all day. I'll take you 007, first to 10 kills, gets to choose.
I'll be honest with me. I didn't. I guess I was too easygoing. The most we ever did is like we would break out the hockey net in the backyard and we'd have a shootout. With my friend had a goalie thing, like it had the 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, 4 hole, and 5 hole. It was just like nylon goalie you put in the full size hockey net, and we would just see who could get the most shots from a certain distance out.
I like it.
Me and my brother, we always got along pretty good, so we didn't have to fight over that stuff too much. But I do remember we would get whatever we could find and go outside and have lightsaber fights.
Yes.
And I remember one time it was, pouring down rain, and that was one of the best fights we ever had. It was awesome. Like the sticks didn't break. We had some excellent equipment. Yes, like I said, it was raining. It was a cool scene.
Nice.
Actually, we go the same route Steven did, Smash Brothers.
There you go.
That is such a great way to decide things. It's like, all right, come on, I got my Kirby, bring it on.
Right, I'm with you. Kirby was my jam. And they bring out Donkey Kong. I'm like, hey man, you ain't about this life. I got Kirby coming.
Unpopular opinion here. I was not a Smash Brothers fan.
I never got into Smash. In my defense though, I never got a lot into fighting games. I played a decent amount of Tekken on the PlayStation 1, and I did get into Mortal Kombat for a little bit, but I was never a huge fighting game fan overall. For me, it was always racing games and action games.
Have you seen who's in the latest Mortal Kombat?
I saw it the other day, but I cannot. Name escapes me. Who is it?
That was Rambo.
Yeah, that's it. I saw it. Have you seen like his fatalities and his special moves?
Yes, they're freaking awesome.
They're awesome, man. I remember seeing that now. It's killer, dude.
Yeah.
Who are you? Your worst nightmare.
Steven, if you haven't seen this, you need to go look up the Rambo trailer for Mortal Kombat. It's I saw it the other day. It's pretty cool.
I got to shoot one of those guns.
Really?
One of the big MG machine guns. Oh God. It was nice.
Was this recent years or while you were in the Army?
While I was in the Army.
That's awesome.
Also got to shoot the 50 cal and literally had an orgasm. I was just like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I was lighting that rusty old tank up.
No, Bob. I mean, how much recoil did that thing have with you shooting it? Were you
what, the 50 cal?
The 50, yeah.
This particular one, they had it bolted to the ground, so it didn't go whoosh, but it still had a hefty little boom, boom behind it.
Right.
There's not a trigger. There's just a little lever thing that you press down, and then good to go.
Oh, look, Bob, I'll tell you something that will make you very happy. Go on YouTube, look up the name Alex Zedra, and then search Barrett 50 cal.
Barrett 50 cal. Okay.
This is the girl who was the model for one of the more recent last year's Call of Duty games, one of the operators. But she is like actually a big time gun nut. And like she went and her lifelong goal was to like be able to buy a Barrett 50 cal, a $10,000 gun, and she bought one, and she has got several videos where she's hip firing it. So I mean, you got this little. I mean, she works out. She's muscular, but she's a thin girl, and she's like just holding the Barrett like this, and it's just like shaking her. Like,
Yes.
you need to go look it up.
I will.
She's awesome. And I promise you, once you watch one of her videos, you are probably going to watch all of her videos. She will make you throw up in your mouth a little bit, referring to a previous question.
Damn, she fine. Is it come out vomit, or is it like, you know,
No,
you can like stop it?
It's just throw up in your mouth a little bit.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. That's cool.
Yes.
As long as it's just not like, damn, she fine.
Yeah, no, we're not talking projectile all over the place.
Yeah, when you start going exorcism vomit and the pink suit starts coming out, it might be too much. I don't think I want the million.
Oh,
Did you know that when they did that in that movie, they didn't tell the dude who's playing the preacher they're going to do it?
Yes.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
They wanted his honest reaction.
Oh, they got it.
Yeah, but my honest
What the hell?
reaction to something like that would have probably ruined that take, because I would have been like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know, especially when it didn't stop. Because if I remember correctly, that goes on for a solid, even in the movie, what, 15, 20 seconds? Just a solid.
He got amazingly cleaned up after that, though.
Very quickly.
Like,
yeah.
like in cartoons, when it's Thomas the cat gets squished by a rock or something, like 2 seconds later, he's fine.
Movie magic.
He had another outfit in the car.
Well, guys, do we have anything else tonight?
I just want to pimp my podcast again, Fat Old Nerds Podcast.
Absolutely.
We're on every platform. We're on every like website thing, social media you can think of. We talk about more than movies, of course. We talk about MMA and wrestling and just general things that piss us off. We try not to get political, though we have gotten political a couple of times.
And I know y'all talk about your friends getting to go to Disney World and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that angered me. With that Millennium Falcon there, it's just my dream to go up that ramp.
Yo, that thing.
Bob, Steven spin as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, when you go in there, you get to stand next to I don't know if it's called chess, but the hollow chess table that they have that Chewie and Luke was playing. You get to sit in that seat.
Oh,
it's epic.
I'd be tearing up. I'd just be like, oh, it's so beautiful. My ass to run for the cockpit, though. I'd be like, I'm going to sit in that seat. I'm going to press some buttons. I know it's just pretend, but I don't give a shit.
In Bob's world, that thing's just going to take off and he's going to fly.
Yep. In my head, we are.
I like it.
All right, guys. Well, everybody, we thank you for joining us for episode 10. Be sure you do check out the Fat Old Nerds podcast. My personal favorite so far has been, it was Justin, right, who told his story about getting the vasectomy?
Yes.
Justin's vasectomy story had me in tears laughing. So go check out his podcast. It's a good listen. They do.
Thanks for
theirs.
having me on it. This has been fun.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely, Bob. We had a good time.
When I come back to Alabama in the summertime, we'll all have to get together and and your hot sauce thing. Save some of that stuff.
I'm sure plenty of the hotter ones will get saved because there's no way I'm consuming all of this. No. You can have
Unless
as
you want
much
a
of this.
crater in your ass.
You can have as much of this as you want when you come down here. I promise. All of us are gonna have like one wing's worth, and it's probably gonna be more than enough.
Yeah.
And y'all need to like videotape yourselves on the toilet and just your face. That's it, just your face.
I actually said that we need to do like a follow-up talking about how wrecked our booty holes were.
I think we should edit it together, just make a documentary out of it.
Absolutely, I can do it. I can do it.
The aftermath is just done in black and white.
To see the tears coming down our face as we're.
Just a bunch of empty toilet paper tubes around you, like you've gone through like 6 rolls in a day.
You got the bag of eyes, and then you just
Hey, if it gets that bad, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try and wedge an ice cube in my ass. So please go in, please.
Oh my god.
Well, look, remember, we got to wait for 500 subscribers. You can't, you got to keep your booty hole pristine. We need that for OnlyFans.
If we get to 500, booty hole gets shown.
All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and call it an episode. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next week. Hope everybody is having a wonderful new year. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Yeah.
Word. See ya.